Welcome to the Razzway Grand Prix. This figure 8 style racetrack starts at the top, goes through a windy first sector and then a drop to end the first sector. Then we have the second sector, which is the banked sector. This sector is pretty simple, and then the third sector will finish off the lap. Pretty short third sector. With the competitors set, let's take a look at it. We got Smoggy, followed by Momo and Orangin, Speedy and Mallard, Wispy, Anarchy, Pulsar, Pinky Panther and Rojo Dos, Firo and Shimmer to round at the top 12, Razzie and Cerulean for the home team, Yellow and Arup, Heart and Shock, and then Stinger from the Bumblebees. It's not the Hornets, but it's still a Hornets marble. Stinger from the Bumblebees and Snowflake. Crazy Cat's Eyes hasn't been here in two races because they got really bad results on these two specific tracks. But next race will be at Honeydome, so you'll probably see them there as well. But anyways, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we are off. Smoggy trying to hold off Mimo, and we are rolling. Here comes Speedy. Here comes Mimo. Here comes Orangin and Pulsar. Pulsar in the mix. Here comes Orangin. Shoots by through most of the marbles and takes P1 before Pulsar takes it back, entering the drop. As we're entering this second sector, Orangin retakes the lead, but entering the first of the banked turns. Firo got hit on the split head-on, and here comes Shock. As we're entering the third sector, here comes Wispy. Snowflake as well. Snowflake enters the top 5 and now enters the top 3. Trying to battle for the top 3 and now tries to enter the lead from dead last. As we're entering lap number 2 of, we'll call this 14-lap race. Snowflake, who started dead last, and Orangin, who started on the third spot, is battling each other. Snowflake versus Orangin. Here comes Anarchy as well. Pulsar there in Rojo Dos. Here, through the first sector, Rojo Dos tries to make a move on Snowflake, and briefly does. Anarchy tries to make a move as well. Snowflake handling this lap pretty well, but then loses out. Arup's there. Arup trying to get by Snowflake, and as Orangin stays in the lead. Here comes Snowflake, though, battling up front, and the lead has dropped. The lead has come down as we're entering lap number 3. Arup goes back up to third place as we're entering the third lap. Orangin holds on the lead. Here comes Rojo Dos and Arup. Arup to the outside. Arup tries to get back up to second and does briefly and holds it. Snowflake takes the inside of the two splits. As we're entering lap number 4, Orangin's lead has dropped again. Orangin has been holding off the pace as we're entering the 4th lap. Shock is in dead last. That's a giant shock, wasn't it? That pun was definitely intended, by the way. We're on lap 4:14 with 11 laps to go. Rojo Dos trying to catch up to Snowflake. Here comes Firo into the mix. Snowflake has to deal with marbles from behind them, and that lets Rojo Dos get up there. Orangin's lead has dropped significantly. Here comes Arup into the mix. Rojo Dos there as well as we're entering the 5th lap. Rojo Dos launches. Here comes Arup. Takes P1. Orangin, though, is battling back and is not giving up that lead as we're entering the 5th lap. Rojo Dos takes P1 around the hairpin. And Snowflake has also launched their way up to 3rd place. Orangin lost 3 spots on that one lap as we're entering lap number 5. Rojo Dos holds on. Here comes Arup. Arup right there. Snowflake trying to fight back. Here comes Orangin back up to 2nd and is now challenging Rojo Dos for the lead. Rojo Dos keeps it, though. Snowflake gets up 2 spots on the drop and is now trying to get back Orangin, and does around the 180. Rojo Dos' lead has dropped and Orangin shoots back up to the lead. Firo up to 2nd and as Arup's in 3rd. Orangin back up front and is now trying to shoot back into a good spot, but Firo rounds the final turn as we're entering the 6th lap. Orangin does take it back on the first turn, though. Firo needs to gain speed. Snowflake is gaining time rapidly behind them. Once again, hits the shark fin, and that slows them down a little bit. Many marbles hit the shark fin head on. I don't know if it's a mistake or if it was intentional, but it almost happens every lap for some of these marbles. Firo, gets a gap on Snowflake, but that but Orangin has a gap on Firo as we're entering lap number 7. 1 lap away from the halfway mark. Orangin completed 6 laps out of the 14 that they need to, and is now entering the drop. Once again, hits the shark fin head on. I don't know if it's intentional, but it's definitely hurting these marbles' chances of gaining massive speed around it. Snowflake does not hit it, and look how much time they're saving. Snowflake has a pretty good lap so far. Orangin holds on to the lead, enter the 3rd sector. Here comes Stinger from P19 is challenging the P20 marble, who qualified P20, I should say, Snowflake. As we're entering lap number 8, we're officially halfway done with this race. Here comes Arup, challenging Snowflake. Rojo Dos is there as well. Pinky Panther and Stinger there as well. Orangin has a pretty good run as we're entering as we're on to the 9th lap, I think. We're entering lap number 9 of 14. 6 laps to go. Arup has gotten up to 3rd and is now trying to get up to Firo. Here comes Rojo Dos. Snowflake trying to get by Rojo Dos, and here comes Pinky Panther. Pinky Panther, there comes Snowflake passing 2 marbles. Pinky Panther tries to do the same thing and launches up 3 marbles before Snowflake fights back. This Pinky Panther fights all of them and is now trying to up to 3rd and is trying to catch up to Firo as we're entering lap number 10. Orangin's lead is roughly about 3/4 of a sector. Orangin is absolutely dominating this race. Dead last is currently shock. This time it's not that much of a shock since they were not doing pretty good. Pinky Panther struggles a little bit. Here comes Arup, loses a spot to Snowflake, and here comes Stinger as well. Arup does get that spot back, but Orangin has entered the 11th lap. What happened to Polestar? Polestar is jumped off the track somehow, or just reset their marble, and that marble's in dead last. Polestar holding on, trying not to get lapped. What happened to Smoggy as well? Smoggy is also in the back behind Wispy, and there comes Orangin, passes up Pulsar. That gap between Orangin and Firo, I think, has dropped to roughly half a sector. So that gap is dropping as we're entering lap number 12 of 14. Orangin has gained a little bit of time back through the 3rd sector as we're entering lap number 12. 3 laps to go. Pulsar trying not to get lapped here, but it's probably inevitable. Speedy also in the back with Smoggy. What happened to Club and Speedy? They all got passed up by Wispy. Orangin, the leader. Let's look at the battle for the 3rd place right now between Arup, Snowflake, and Stinger. Stinger struggled. So has Arup. Orangin enters the 3rd sector now. Snowflake's gap between them and the 2 marbles behind them is massive. Arup gets by Stinger and keeps it. Arup gets by. Final 2 laps for Orangin with a massive lead on Ecto. That lead is now way over half a sector. It's like 3/4 of a sector. Orangin is absolutely showing the O-Rangers who's boss. Firo in 2nd place, followed by Snowflake in 3rd, who's gaining time on Firo, but Arup is gaining time on Snowflake. Goes to the outside, back to the inside, and Arup almost makes the move before entering the split, and Arup does make the move, entering the split. Snowflake might also lose another position. Orangin entered the final lap. That lead is massive. Orangin high on these curbs, trying to finish this lap strong. Ecto, almost an entire sector behind Orangin. Orangin is going to cruise to victory. But the battle for 2nd is still heating up. Arup versus Ecto. Firo. Firo versus Arup. Firo trying to hold off Arup. Arup has a little more speed exiting the right-hander, left-hander. Orangin wins at Razzway, but the battle for second is heating up. Arab tries to make the move. Firo blocks. Arab has one more shot and doesn't do it. Firo second, Arab third, Rojo Dos fourth, Snowflake, the Balls of Chaos, Stinger, Pinky Panther, Yellow, and Cerulean, followed by Glimmer, Shock, who gets up to 12th, shockingly, Momo, Razzie, and Mallard, followed up by Heart, Waspy, Smoggy, Speedy, who started in the front row, and Pulsar, who jumped off the track midway through the race, which we didn't see. Absolutely dominant performance from Orangin. A little bit of trouble on the final lap gave the Rangers fans a little bit of stress, but Orangin's lead that they built off through the rest of the race was able to overcome that struggled the final lap. That will be it for the video. We'll see you at Honeydome. It is Honeydome. I am correct. But we'll see you at Honeydome.